Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another great Starcraft 2 replay for you guys once again with a great international engagement in between the two pro players, this time from the Europe scene. Let me just start by introducing the players to you guys as we are spawning here in the upper right in the blue. It is REYNOR from Italy and his opponent spawning here in the lower left in the red. It is CLEM from France. So France versus Italy, it is here on Hardwire on ASL map. Let's just see exactly what the two players have prepared for us. Terran versus Zerg it is. Let's just see their option, let's just see their build or what exactly they will be opting for. Usually Zergs will like to go into a fast expansion versus the Terrans. But yeah, some Zergs also like to go for a fast spawning pool, but by the looks of it, REYNOR goes exactly for a fast expansion build as his drone is going here towards this location. And CLEM also playing very standard here with his barracks. Interesting enough, not deciding to really block the ramp here by the entrance. Perhaps he's also preparing a fast expansion build order. Other options could be, of course, a Reaper harassment early on, but you could also go for mass marines early on. We've seen this BYUN do against Zergs here on this channel. So let's just see exactly what his options are, what his next buildings are going to be as the overlords slowly but steadily move out here for REYNOR. Of course, the second overlord is checking the near proximity for any barracks. Look at the rally point here, so nice choosement here by REYNOR just to scout for those proxy barracks, but CLEM plays it very normally here and decides not to go for a Reaper, goes for his Marine first. Also sends out here his SCV, so the SCV is of course really important just to scout the expansion point from the Zerg. As soon as the Terran sees that expansion, he knows of course that there won't be an early harassment by the Zerg, as the Zerg has also finished his extractor and his spawning pool. Let's check the Terran, he's actually going for a factory and also lands a mule here. So yeah, not producing any Reaper, interesting enough, not any more Marines. Might go into one barracks, one factory and one starport build order. Yeah, the SCV did scout the expansion point, the first queens are on the way. So you're pretty standard open up here. Of course, you can also check the production tab in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. Yeah, you can see the first Zerglings are being made. The queens, of course, early on very good into injecting larvae and just protecting the Zerg against any early harassment. So yeah, the Zerglings are also out. Let's just see if REYNOR will be able to do something here against the economy from CLEM. But yeah, by the looks of it, he's just roaming around, and at the 2-minute and 20-second mark, there is that second expansion point here for the Zerg. So the pretty standard open up here for the Zerg, same can be said here for the Terran. No second fast expansion for him as he's going straight into a starport, so we might see an early harassment here by CLEM. He might try to attack with some medivacs and with some marines. It could be a drop attempt, but yeah, REYNOR should be of course ready for this with perhaps a spore or two. Queens are also here, nice injecting out of the larva, and yeah, the queens are just going to connect the expansion throughout with the larva on the ground. Sorry, the creep on the ground. So yeah, let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. A medivac is being prepared for 2 Hellions. He might try to add more and more Hellions. It could be a quadruple drop by Hellions. But by the looks of it, just one medivac. No reactor onto this one factory, so no switch up here. Another Hellion is being produced. Those 3 Hellions could be dropped as the overload comes here forward. Of course, the overload also important here around the 4-minute mark, just to see in case there is an expansion being built or what exactly the build order is going to be. So he sees of course the 1 barracks, 1 factory and 1 starport, and interesting enough, CLEM also decides to go here for a Liberator, a very early Liberator. Let's see what exactly his plans are, perhaps just to harass the mineral line from REYNOR. Now we see at the 4-minute mark the move out with some, I thought it was some Hellions, but I believe the Hellions are on the ground or just staying back, so he's actually moving out with some Marines. Interesting enough, 7 Marines here for CLEM, as of course REYNOR expects some Hellion harassment. He has those queens in position, he has some Zerglings, so CLEM is not going to be successful here as he has to drop and perhaps just try to snap some overlords or 2. At the same time, we see finally those Hellions move out, a creep has been cancelled, and yeah, CLEM of course tries to be as much as abusive as possible, as much as present as possible, and we actually have now 5 Hellions here. One is dropping really low, so CLEM needs to be careful. And yeah, CLEM all over the place, so he's trying a triple attack here with Marines, with infantry, with those Hellions. just try to keep guessing REYNOR where exactly the real attack is going to happen. But luckily here for REYNOR, he has this Overlord, so he sees everything. That Overlord spread is really nicely, and the one Liberator taking quite some great damage, might even fall here, 3 HP, and the Queens should be able to take him out. So great defense here by the Italian player versus the French one. Really nicely done. The Overlord spread is quite outstanding here by REYNOR. Even has a Spore here just to intercept the Medivacs. So very nicely done, making it here sheer impossible for CLEM to attack and damage that economy. So yeah, this is exactly why CLEM is going to transition into another expansion point, reducing more and more of those Marines. Stim is being done, a tank is being done here as well, and more barracks have been added. So let's just check REYNOR, he has his tier 2, so he might transition into a Spire, he might transition into some Lurkers, some Hydras. There are some Evolution Chambers for those upgrades. And in the end, REYNOR really doing a nice job here defending versus CLEM very nicely. Of course, some Zergans will fall. Nice kiting. Stim should be finished really soon. And yeah, in the end, REYNOR really holding on very strongly against the harassment by CLEM. And yeah, there is that second expansion point, as the Stim Marines will of course take care of those Zerglings and even damage this hatchery. So quite strong stuff here by CLEM. But in come the Queens. However, the hatchery is taking quite some damage, and the Medivac is also dropping very low, so he has to retreat. At the same time, the hatchery is about to get finished, might get healed really soon by those Queens, and I believe CLEM saw this weak spot by REYNOR, so he might try to attack here. So the answer is of course going to be banelings here by REYNOR versus the French player. So still no breakthrough here by CLEM. Let's have a look. There is a Hydro stand, so we might see a transition into Hydros, we might see a transition into Lurkers really soon, as in comes the attack. One Medivac is really low, it's getting sniped, but 2 Queens have been sniped here as well, as CLEM tries of course now to push forward, but there are some banelings in the back. CLEM tries to find the upper position on the ramp, and at the same time he's just roaming around here with his Medivacs, trying to snipe some of those drones. But yeah, not that much mining time has been delayed, as some Marines have fallen here as well. At the same time, those Hellions try to get some great connections, but the spread is also really good here. So only 3 drones, luckily enough for REYNOR, as he even built some units here. He actually made some buildings here, just cancel them just to save those drones. So nice reaction here. A double attack by CLEM, very hard to execute. In the end, REYNOR holding on really nicely, and only luckily for him, only 3 drones have been killed, as in comes another dropship with some Marines here towards the middle of the map this time, as REYNOR also tries of course to scare off CLEM. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. Nice wall off here by CLEM, as he's adding more and more factories, so we might see a transition into more mechanical build orders, into more tanks, into more even Hellions or Hellbats could be an option here for him, or actually mines. Mines are very good against the banelings, against the Zerglings, and notice how CLEM is attacking those banelings and then just pulls out just to try to damage the economy. But yeah, great micro all in all by both players, and at the same time once again sorry, at the same time CLEM once again tries to move here forward with his units. This time it is Marines, no Hellions. And let's see what exactly is going to happen here, as the other expansion point is pretty much on attack. And notice how REYNOR is attacking the Medivac. Very wisely done here by him. So the Medivac dropping really low, and sadly here for CLEM, he lost quite a good chunk of his infantry there. At the same time, he's also moving forward. He has the high ground, that's very important. But yeah, those Hydros very good into attacking those Medivacs. Nice job here by REYNOR. Just a great defense overall, as slowly but steadily we're closing at the 10-minute mark. So quite a strong defense, at the same time a nice macro-oriented game, as REYNOR is just expanding all over the map. And still the same strategy here for CLEM. Just keep sending out wave after wave of Medivacs and also expanding here. So quite a balanced game. A little bit more supply here for REYNOR. But yeah, REYNOR has to be very careful. He has to defend really well against the harassment here by CLEM, as CLEM is just all over the map here, just trying of course to attack. So REYNOR expecting this, splits his troops. Could be a good surround here versus these units. The banelings might get some good connections here, so nicely done here by REYNOR. At the same time, CLEM just roaming around here, but REYNOR seems to have everything under control. He's even chasing those Medivacs away, but we might see an engagement in the upper left part really soon. As yeah, REYNOR still on the chase. So quite a defensive gameplay here by REYNOR. At the same time, his queens are moving out. That creep spread is really strong, almost making the air forward towards the expansion point by CLEM. I believe REYNOR really soon is going to launch a strong attack towards his enemy. CLEM really has to make something against this creep spread. Might have to scan that location really soon and just push it back and just destroy those creep eggs. Let's look at that. The creep has already made it here forward to the expansion point by CLEM, so we might see a really strong push out very soon by REYNOR, as the creep highway has pretty much been finished and more creep is being spreaded by the Italian player. So quite an outstanding gameplay. At around the 10-minute mark, he already made it here forward to the expansion point by CLEM, and there are some tanks here to protect, not that many, but yeah, all of a sudden CLEM has to retreat back home, as he is of course expecting an attack. Still lots and lots of infantry. You can see of course the upgrades here in the lower middle part of the map, and yeah, REYNOR pretty much maxed out. However, 98 workers already here for REYNOR, so his army is not that big. CLEM could have an advantage with that. His tanks will have to be protected here. 4 kills already onto this one, as REYNOR just checking here the water with some banings, with some hydras, trying of course to find a good position to attack. Let's just see. CLEM now all of a sudden has changed his tactics, going into a more defensive gameplay with infantry, with his expansions, even adding some missile turrets, of course expecting perhaps a utilist harassment by REYNOR, but no such thing. It's just Link Bane Hydra by him. So we've seen Dark do this against the Terrans, and it's a really strong engagement. So let's see, the Zerglings are pretty much going to try to surround the units, but CLEM on the retreat. However, we have 2 Vipers in the air, so the Vipers with those blinding clouds could be really strong against the tanks, but needs to be careful to outmicro them. And of course, nice harpooning here. This one Medivac almost killing it. And yeah, at the same time, the Zerg just keeps expanding all over the map. So such a nice and interesting, a very calculated game by both players, as REYNOR tries of course to open the floodgates here towards his enemy. Just sniping this rock. So many Zerglings by him. I believe a strong attack is about to happen here really soon. Some lurkers have been added as well. More and more creep is getting spreaded by the Italian players, so CLEM might soon be flooded here by a wave, a strong wave of Zerglings, Banings. Even the queens are present, and let's not forget the lurkers. We've seen, however, SERRAL go for some infestors, so infestors with fungus, but hold on, we actually see the engagement here, EMPs, and now we see the snipers on the ground just to snipe those lurkers. Great wall of fear by CLEM, as he keeps killing unit after unit, important unit. Those lurkers are really important, so REYNOR is going to have quite a tough time here into attacking, so the lurkers will be used. So yeah, like I told you, SERRAL is using actually infestors with fungus, but you have to be really quick. You have to use infestors, just fungal the infantry from the Terran, and then just borrow those lurkers. REYNOR actually not deciding to do this, is going very much heavily into banings. Yeah, those banings can be of course really deadly. This is exactly why the tanks in the back are so much important to be guarded here. So let's see what's going to happen. CLEM actually deciding to move out with his infantry. He knows that a big army chunk of REYNOR is here into this location. Let's see if this one Medivac is going to make anything happen. REYNOR has to retreat, so this is going to be the next strategy by both players. CLEM is going to try of course to be as aggressive as possible just to keep REYNOR at bay. At the same time, he's going to try to build the Sim City at his home. Notice how those tanks in the back are nicely being defended by buildings in the front, so it's really important to have those buildings in the front just to give them more protection against a wave of banings and Zerglings. At the same time, CLEM also taking this expansion and this one as well, so very strong economy here for the Italian player, as he's pretty much going to go into more and more of those Zerglings. So let's see, here are the ghosts in the front. They might try once again to snipe some units. Not that big of an army here for CLEM, as the tank is getting snapped, but the high ground now belongs to the Terran, so this could be very much important. But there's so many Zerglings for REYNOR, and by the looks of it, he's going to commit. However, the tanks in the back, look at them, how nicely they're being protected here, even by this planetary fortress. Those 3 tanks in the back, of course, scaring REYNOR away. It would have been a suicide attack if he would have attempted that, but let's see what exactly can REYNOR do against this nice wall of by CLEM. And at the same time, when exactly is CLEM going to decide to move out? Well, it is just going to be a waiting game here by both players. As yeah, not that much energy is being left onto these ghosts, so they might try to snipe more of those lurkers. Even Vipers could be sniped, EMP can be used. Yeah, let's see, Reynor is going to attack this location. Lots and lots of turrets, interesting enough here for them. But yeah, Reynor looks like he's going to commit some tanks here in the high ground. Would have been perfect, but the tanks are here into this location, so Lightning Clouds have been used and the tanks are pretty much useless now, as the Banings do keep roll forward, but that Planetary just dealing so much splash damage. In the end, it's going to get sniped, and 15 workers have been killed here as well, so CLEM grumbling a little bit here out of the harassment by Reynor. So yeah, even a supply depot has fallen there. So yeah, nice job here by Reynor, of course losing some of his forces. But in the end, the economic damage has been done. 15 workers have been killed here by CLEM. This expansion is not producing. This one has been sniped and is being replaced with a normal one. So yeah, more and more is being added here by Reynor towards CLEM. CLEM, of course, having a good position with those tanks. Lots and lots of kills for them. But in the end, if this game will continue like this, look at that, Reynor even having this location and this location. So more of the half of the map is in control of those Zerg. Of course, the economy will be overwhelmingly against the Terran. However, let's not forget that the Terrans have tanks, have snipers. So we've seen many comebacks by Terrans, especially Maro onto this one channel. And at the same time, we see an engagement here. Once again, Reynor punishing the economy from CLEM. 11 more workers have been killed, some harpoons against the tanks. Pretty good stuff here by him, but there's so many ghosts on the ground, so some units will be sniped here as well. So nice back and forward game, still anyone's game. Reynor dropping here into the supply. Yes, however, such a strong economy. Look at that, 10k minerals and 7k gas. So such a strong economy here by him. Of course, he could just massively produce more and more Zerglings and just keep sending wave after wave. And we actually see some worms now being produced. But there are some snipers here to react, even a tank. So yeah, should be okay here. Actually, so many ghosts reporting here into this location, so this should be killed. So nice attempt here by Reynor, but it's being held off. At the same time, in come the Zerglings. Of course, an expendable unit. The Banings also might try to get some connections. One tank has been sniped, but so many Zerglings have fallen here as well. So yeah, pretty good hold by CLEM, but like I told you, if this continues like this, Reynor is just going to be sending wave after wave. His economy is allowing this, of course. 7k gas, 8 gas minerals, so such a strong game here by him, and more Zerglings are being used or being produced. So sadly here for CLEM, the early game didn't really work out for him. He couldn't be able to punish the economy from Reynor, and now Reynor just having such a strong force, even taking this expansion into this location, so almost making the forward towards the expansion point by CLEM. Is he's going to commit here, the SCVs have to be pulled out. The lurker might try to get some connections, but the snipers are here to respond. And Banings will take care of this planetary, but it's pretty much alive. So yeah, nice hold here by CLEM. Lots and lots of units have been lost here by Reynor. But yeah, his economy is still looking very strong and still expanding all over the place. We even see some Banings getting EMP'd, so he has to pull back. Oh, great stuff. Even some infestors, finally some infestors being used with that fungal, pretty much deadly against the Terran. So yeah, let's see, we even have a nuclear launch now being added here by CLEM, and this could be really nice if Reynor is not paying attention. Lots and lots of damage, but of course Reynor very fast with his micro. However, the hatchery might fall here, a little bit of splash damage. And then in come the drones back to mine more. So we're closing slowly but steadily at the 20-minute mark. Let's just see how this game is going to be continuing. But yeah, the planetary fortress nicely defending here the location from CLEM. And there are so many spreaded tanks, so many turrets out, so the defense looks really strong for the Terran player. And they hold on, we actually see an engagement here starting with lurkers, with Banings, fungals once again. So the same strategy just like SERRAL, it's fungals with lurkers. And yet the Banings just try to get some good connections against the snipers here. So yeah, pretty good stuff. In the end, lots and lots of units have been lost for both players. But yeah, like I told you, look at the economy from Reynor. He's pretty much allowing himself to lose some units. Let's see for how long CLEM can hold on to this. Maybe he should be a little bit more aggressive with his medivacs, but we've seen how hard it is to punish the economy from Reynor. So Reynor playing quite a strong game with Zerglings, with Banings, Lighthouse and so on. And more attacks will be added even Zerglings getting sniped. So yeah, REYNOR perhaps just preparing here an all strong attack. We saw so many banings, he still has some Hydras, so many Lurkers as well for him. Actually not such a strong force of Lurkers, but still, and some Vipers in the air as well, just to harpoon those tanks. And yeah, here we go, in comes REYNOR once again with his forces. Blinding Clouds, very much important. The tanks are pretty much useless. The banings are rolling in comes the infantry from CLEM, but in the end 9 more workers have been killed, so REYNOR just keeps killing worker after worker here, so every worker counts, of course, really hard in the late game as more and more workers will sadly fall here for CLEM. At the same time, REYNOR just keeps pushing forward with his Dragons, with his banings. The snipers are pretty much exposed, they try to get for cover into those tanks, and yeah, more and more is being added. Now REYNOR just having control of the middle of the map, and the Hydras are pretty much attacking everything. Banings also getting some good connections, and yeah, more and more is being added here by REYNOR towards his enemy. Sadly for them, he's crumbling here against so much of the REYNOR force, and look at that, more and more Zerglings have been added here. So yeah, the economy from REYNOR finally showing his force, and yeah, sadly for CLEM, he has to GG out. Yeah, in the end, the economy, I believe, from REYNOR just won him this game. Was a great defense by CLEM, and even a better defense in the early game by REYNOR versus his opponent. I believe that made a difference. CLEM not really being able to punch forward to strike the economy from REYNOR early on, and REYNOR just nicely expanding all over the map. If you look at the map, more than half of the map is in control of REYNOR. So very aggressive move out by him. And in the end, Ling, Bane, Lurkers, and those Infestors with those Fungals. And let's not forget the Vipers with the Blinding Clouds against the tanks. Such a good unit to have as is Zerg versus the Terran. So yeah, sadly for CLEM, it was a little bit too passive, but he had to be defensive against REYNOR. So yeah, in the end, REYNOR from Italy winning this game versus the French player. A good game by both players. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. We'll be seeing, of course, in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.